What's the deal? What's the deal, Viral Gang? We back at it with another one. It's your boy, the one and only, your host that do the most, Mr. Viral himself, aka the villain. Because they hate me for my opinion. Shout out to all the subscribers out there, all the Viral Gang members. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become a member of the Viral Gang, the viralist movement on the internet. Shout out to all the supporters. Hey, today we got to talk. We got to really talk. I came across this list, the biggest podcast in the United States, according to Spotify. And as I'm scrolling this list, there's a number of people that, you know, we're all familiar with. I'm positive you're familiar with. They're everywhere. They're on every stream, every short. Their clips go viral around the world. Everybody's seen them. But as I'm scrolling, I go through 10 to 1. I go, damn, it is one black person on this list. And that's Candace Owens. Nobody else black made this list. So now my mind starts racing. And I got a number of questions that I'm asking myself. I go, damn. Number one, how does no other black content creator with a podcast crack this list? And I'm going down the list in my head. I'm thinking of the Joe Budden podcast. I'm thinking of academics. Like, I'm really going down the list. I'm thinking 19 Keys. I'm thinking of some notable names who have real valuable content in the culture. Then I go, well, damn, if they don't crack the top 10, how much does the culture really matter? Or how big is the culture? It's like it's almost seemingly like a raindrop in the ocean, because I'm looking at these platforms going, man, they get millions of views. They got all these subscribers. I'm thinking they doing it. Like, these guys got to be top 10, and they're not. And then I go, well, damn, what do these other content creators do that our content creators aren't doing? Because we have a few people that's in those same lanes as, you know, the Joe Rogans or the who they got on here, the Theo Vons, the PBD podcast. And I go, damn, what is the difference? And then I get to thinking, is it because black people really don't support black people like that? Like, really just think about it. When you go to the concerts of your favorite artists, there's not many black people in that crowd. It's mainly other ethnicities. When you go to these basketball games, football games, we sprinkled in there, but for the majority of the crowd, it's other ethnicities. So if the content that most black content creators make don't relate to these other ethnicities, that would explain why the numbers don't do the same as what these other content creators do. Or do they just not want to support black content creators because they go, well, you know, they dropping game, they dropping valuable content, but I could just run over to Joe Rogan. I could just run over to who else is on here? Tucker Carlson. So it's really layered. This isn't a one-dimensional type of thing to break down, because as I'm noticing, I'm going to go through the list. So number 10, Theo Von. Number 9, PBD podcast. Number 8, Candace Owens. Number 7, Crime Junkie. Number 6, New York Times podcast. Number 5, Rotten Mango. I don't even know what that is. Never heard of it, but she's doing crazy numbers. Number 4, Tucker Carlson. We all know him. Number 3 is Caller Daddy. I don't know what that's about, but it's a female, and obviously she's doing crazy numbers. Female support females, women support women. We know that. Number 2, Sean Ryan. His show always going viral. And number 1, of course, Joe Rogan. So the first thing I notice is 99% of these, I ain't gonna say 99% because I don't know. I don't know the Crime Junkie. I don't know the New York Times podcast, and I don't know Rotten Mango or the Caller Daddy. But the major ones that I do know, like the Joe Rogans, the Sean Ryan shows, the Tucker Carlsons, the Theo Vons, what they all have in common is they're all interview-based, meaning they bring on guests, and the guests come with a fan base, huge fan base. I'm talking about they bring in the biggest political figures. They're bringing the biggest entertainers. Like, they're bringing the heavy hitters from every genre of life. And the numbers reflect that. Candace Owens might be the only one that I can see who really does original content, like have original thought, and really is going viral for her thoughts, not necessarily the people that she's bringing on, even though she has had some notable interviews. But most of her interviews that go viral is people interviewing her. So then I go back and think about, what do most black content creators do? Well, the ones who do the most numbers in our community, it's usually like hip-hop related, hip-hop based, music based. And then you think about most of that content, it's like, damn, every time I see us going viral, we doing some stupid shit. We crashing out, we self-incriminating ourselves, we beefing, we acting a damn fool on camera, we doing balloon pops, like we doing all the lowest of the low, all the low-hanging fruit content to get the instant hits and the instant viral moments. But over time, as we can see numbers-wise, that shit don't matter. It's not even a blip on the radar. It's not even a raindrop in the ocean. It's not even a grain of sand in the desert. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't push the needle at all in the podcast world. Only in our little bubble of black urban culture. So I go, damn, how do we get out of this seemingly endless cycle of being boxed into this one small arena? Because let's be honest, most black people, we're not political like that. We usually don't care about politics until presidential season comes around. And that's only because they put it in your face every 5 seconds, and then they go out there and they try to they hire all your favorite celebrities, oh yeah, vote or die, and all this other bullshit. They give you all of these performative performances about how they care about black people. Then at the end of the day, you don't get any type of laws passed for you, no legislation passed for you. You don't get shit, right? So they basically They pander to black people all election season to try to get your votes. And then at the end of election season, you don't get shit. All the promises they make, they never hold up to those promises. And there's a few small figures. I ain't gonna say small. I mean small in number, big in following. Like you got the Dr. Umars, you got the Reza Islams, you got the 19 Keys, you got the Billy Carsons. You got like a few people who touch on that type of stuff. But what I noticed is, what differs between these other races and us is when black people start touching on those type of things, you start to notice things. You start to notice channels getting shadow banned. You start to notice numbers dropping. You start to notice people not getting notifications on these channels no more. You start to notice people's channels get eliminated. You start to notice people getting blackballed and not even allowed on platforms. Whereas you'll have these other creators who are saying some of the most craziest shit politically wise, and they're thriving. They get incentivized. They get, you know what I'm saying? We can see what's going on. Like if you see the trend, like damn, bro not even allowed on YouTube. And people don't even want to bring bro on their platforms because they're gonna get demonetized if they even support this guy. Whereas over here, it seems like they can say whatever the fuck they want. So I go, damn. Is this the reason why most black content creators stay away from the political stuff? Because that's how our channel started out. Not necessarily just politics, but real life things, real life stuff that's going on. Our channel's been flagged a number of times, especially with the COVID shit. Oh man, we got hit with all type of shit, had to take all these sensitivity training courses. So we came in the game to speak truth and to shed light on real life events that they hide in the news, that they hide in the media, that they don't want the people to know about. And in return, our channel's been shadow banned. We done had supporters. I don't even like calling them fans. That's why I call y'all Viral Gang, because we all one big family, one big gang. A number of supporters have came out and said, hey man, we not getting no notifications from your channel. Like, I got to look y'all up every other day, and I see y'all dropping videos like crazy, but YouTube is not notifying us. And I knew it because the numbers didn't make sense. For the amount of supporters that we got, the amount of subscribers we got, the views never made sense. Only time they really matched up is if we put out some type of degenerate-related content where we're not necessarily doing the degenerate shit. You know, we used to do the battle of the sexes thing back when Red Pill was really booming a year or two ago. So the women would come on acting crazy, and that would spike the views because we all know the algorithm would push women versus men whenever they battle against each other. So our views would make sense with what our following was. Actually, we was getting more views than we had followers. So our channel was like, the trajectory was going crazy. And then anytime we drop some high power type of content, the views drop. The support drops. And we go, damn, this don't make any sense at all. You at least gonna get 50% of your following viewing your shit. And our shit dropped down to like 5%, 10%. That's when I knew. And I go, damn, I wonder if these other big podcasters had similar events happen to them, or they just know the ins and outs of the business and they just stay away from that. They steer away from that. Because it's a lot of shit going on that's affecting everybody, humans, not just black people, but humans. But specifically the black culture, we're usually uninformed about a lot of stuff. I'm speaking on the majority. It's a lot of people starting to wake up now. I'm starting to see a lot of even younger people starting to do their research, and I'm loving that shit, right? But historically, we only believed what we was fed by the news, which our parents believed blindly. Then they tried to brainwash us with it. But our generation, we kind of bucked back at the system. Like, nah, that shit don't make sense. Let me research it because we got this internet shit now, which our parents did not have. But not to ramble on, long story short, what do y'all believe is holding black content creators back, right? Because we all don't do hip-hop content. All black podcasters don't do degenerate content. It's a lot of black podcasters speaking truth, speaking game, talking about fasting and raising your consciousness and learning your history of who you truly are. It's a lot of names that I can't think of off the top of my head. I got their face imprinted in my memory. I just don't be knowing dudes' names because I just be consuming content, but not necessarily knowing names, right? I just scroll and it'll pop up based on my algorithm. But shout out to everybody who's dropping high power content, right? None of them are really doing numbers in the grand scheme of things. So then it becomes, hey, if you want to make an impact, not only do you make impact with your words, but you need the financial backing behind it to actually make impact in your community as well. Because words can only get you so far. At the end of the day, you need income to really make change and start to make shit happen. But if you're not getting the views and the following and the sponsors, that income is limited compared to these other platforms, these top 10 platforms who have seemingly endless sponsors and endless connects to get these big interviews on. Because let's just think, imagine Trump coming to one of these black podcasters who's in that type of lane, who can ask the important questions that maybe didn't get asked on the Joe Rogan podcast. You know, questions more centered around, well, how are you being president again gonna affect our community? Because we've seen what happened before, and I'm not saying it was good or bad. I just know the economy was better, and the economy's fucked right now. And we all looking for a way up out of this shit. So it's a lot of questions that directly affect our communities the most that, let's just be real, nobody from outside our community is going to ask these questions. Same, and even the people in our communities, right, can be compromised because we know how this shit works. You get these politicians on your podcast, they want to pre-screen the questions and make sure they're protecting whoever's coming on. Like, you can't ask certain shit or whatever the case, because I just seen Kamala go on Shannon Sharp podcast. We'll do a review of that later this week. And I didn't even watch it yet, but I'm almost certain he didn't ask the tough questions. Like, I'm almost certain. Because if he was allowed to, she wouldn't have went on there, right? So you'll never see Kamala sit down with a Dr. Umar or a 19 Keys or a Reza Islam, right? Or you know, imagine Trump sitting down with Reza Islam, or Trump sitting down with Billy Carson or somebody, you know, like somebody who knows the ins and outs of the politics, the real politics, the politricks, not the shit they tell you on TV, how this shit really works, and really can ask questions from those type of aspects. Shit, imagine Trump coming in here where we keep it real raw and uncut. I'm not finna shortcut ourselves. We one of them platforms too. But like I said, we started dealing with a shadow ban. So we kind of geared away from that type of content a little bit to see if the shadow ban would fall off. So we started covering, you know, trending news, celebrity news, shit going on in the entertainment industry. And for the most part, some videos, it does spike. Like we took Trap Lord Ross through Long Beach. That shit went crazy. That shit spiked like crazy, but it was gang-related content, right? Then we go back to some higher consciousness type of content, and bam, shadow ban kick right back in. So we still thinking of ways to try to combat this, because people complain about the quality of content from black creators. But then when black creators make quality content, the black community does not support. We are living proof. We're not saying everybody, because we have supporters. Don't get it fucked up. Shout out the viral gang. But I mean top 10 type numbers. They don't come supporting that type of content from our community, because our community is plagued with a certain mindset. We have this victim mindset where we're programmed to be victims and believe we're less than and believe we can only be degenerates and all this other stupid shit, right? So anytime you have somebody black who gets in front of a camera and in front of a mic and talks against that mindset, and hey, let's change our mindset. People hate change, right? Because change takes putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, and most people don't want to be uncomfortable. They're good with being comfortable, which is why most people stay complacent their whole life and stay on the same level their whole life. But when you're elevating, especially out of the black community, when you start to elevate, you start to get a lot of hate from your own. Whereas these other communities, when they start to elevate, they seemingly get the support. They get pushed higher. So our community, they see us elevating, they try to pull us back down. When I see these other ethnicities, these people that's in these top 10s, I see they people pushing them up. Not only that, I mean, shit, we don't seemingly get the same type of sponsorship, because a lot of the content that we're gonna drop, let's just be real, you gotta be black to kind of relate to it. I don't even want to say kind of. You gotta be black to relate to it. And a lot of people will feel left out. Even the verbiage, right? You'll have other ethnicities tune into your content, then complain about you using the N-word. Oh, y'all say nigga too much. Y'all say the N-word too much, as if it truly offends them. Now, that's one thing that's weird to me. Y'all will listen to rap songs, R&B songs, watch movies where they use the N-word. Hell, even they'll use the N-word themselves. But for some reason, when a black content creator uses the N-word, it's an issue now. But you're coming into black culture, so you got to embrace everything that comes with that. What happens is a lot of the other ethnicities, they come try to divulge in the content in the black culture, and then they want to put their own rules on how we can operate and how we can conduct ourselves, or how we can even speak. And if you don't adhere to that, they're like, oh, fuck that, I'm not supporting that. I done had that personally happen a lot, because we use the N-word a lot, right? We've been saying that shit since preschool. We try to stop saying it so much, so frequently, but this is a lifelong thing that's embedded in us, and it's still a work in progress, right? Or they'll complain about the profanity. I'm going, what the fuck? Y'all, literally, every movie, every TV show, every song you listen to is littered with profanity. The people you idolize, they all use profanity. The comedians you idolize, the actors, all use profanity, no problem. But when it's a black content creator, I've noticed that's a real issue, right? And I'm speaking from firsthand experience. But all I'm getting at is, how do y'all believe we can crack more of us through that top 10 ceiling? Is this one of those things where it's controlled, where only controlled opposition can be allowed up there in that top 10? And a lot of us aren't that, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of people have said a lot of those people in the top 10 are controlled ops, right? They act like they for the people, but really they working for the people they acting like they against type of shit. So because the people who seemingly really are out there fighting a good fight, they're demonetized. They're kicked off of platforms completely. They can't even have channels because what they're saying is so raw and uncut they got to get that shit out of here completely, seemingly because they don't have control over it. So then it make you look at it even different. Like, damn, are you ever allowed to make it up there or get them type of numbers unless you are controlled in a way, a puppet? So there's just a lot of shit, man, because we creators and we don't always want to cover what's going on in the entertainment world or what's trending over here with this rapper and that singer. We really, you see all these fucking books? This is the type of shit that we into for real. But then our community really doesn't read. So there's a gap when you start to talk about shit like this. Where they'll tell you it's boring, or we don't want to hear that shit, or we don't want to hear that bullshit, Sharif, or you trying to kick knowledge, you know, all the jokes and all that shit. It's just like, man, we try to raise the consciousness of black people and the things that we consume and consider entertaining. Because I'll sit down, I won't watch the full podcast, but a lot of these clips I do watch. I'm familiar with a lot of people on this top 10, and I consume a lot of their content via what pops up in the algorithm. But the type of shit they talk about is the type of shit that intrigues me now, which I ain't even gonna say now, even as a young kid, that type of shit intrigued me. My mind was always kind of locked in on the type of shit that they talk about. So that's the type of shit we want to talk about. But we know with the demographic that we appeal to, that type of content doesn't appeal to them. That's also a struggle, right? You come from certain environments, you grew up a certain way, and you have that certain look. You used to live that certain lifestyle, and that still appeals to the people that's still there. So naturally they gravitate towards you, but all of this type of shit is foreign out there. So you lose them. And then, you know, you got the group over here, they already don't want to support you just cause. Not even making it a race thing, but sometimes that's just is what it is. We got to call a spade a spade. They'll see your shit and be like, I'm not watching that shit. I'm not watching them niggas. Like, that'll just be what it is, right? It seems like other ethnicities are allowed to grow more organically where we have more rules of shit we can and can't say, whether that be because of street rules or whether that be just black culture in general. Black culture is a large portion of it is very ignorant and closed-minded. So a lot of these topics require you to have an open mind to consume, but you're going to push off a large majority of your people speaking on these topics. So all of this is a struggle that black content creators have to deal with, right? It's either you selling out and you're doing some crazy shit for the views, right? You do the Charleston White thing where you just say, fuck it. Because Charleston White was another guy who he seemingly went through the same struggle, right? He tell you all the time, I was an activist in the community. I used to go around saying the same shit I'm saying now, just minus the trolling. And nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody paid attention. None of this shit went viral, nothing. But the second I start saying, fuck these rappers, fuck these gangbangers, fuck these street niggas, oh shit, that's the shit that appeal to black people, right? Because we grew up identifying our whole existence with the streets. To where if you not even street, we not even looking at you as you black damn near. Like, yeah, you square ass nigga, right? So, man, it's a struggle, right? It's a struggle. It's a battle. And it's only built for the strong. Only the strong gonna survive this battle. Because not only are you fighting the world, you fighting your own people. At least when they fight against the world, they got their people lined up side by side and behind them. Not us. Not the black culture. When you go to fight the fight, you're fighting against the world and your people. Shit different. Only the strong survive over here. So yeah, man. Shout out to the whole viral gang. Shout out all the subscribers. Shout out all the future subscribers. If y'all not getting our notifications, just search us up. You feel me? I mean, the more y'all search us up, the more the algorithm is going to pick us up anyway. So that'll help us out in the long run. But we definitely appreciate all the support from everybody. Let's try to get more of us in that top 10 next year for Spotify. Candace Owens can't be the only one repping for the whole race. We got a lot of talent. We got a lot of special people in this game that deserve more looks. But you know how the politics be. But we can't cry about the politics when before we even hit the politics, we ain't even getting support from our people. How in the fuck we gonna go try to fight some politics when the politics in our own backyard is fucking us? All I'm saying, man, we gotta wake our game up. All the way up. High power. Y'all hear us say that since day one. We going out saying that. High power. Raise your consciousness. Raise your frequency. Read more books. Get the information. Get the knowledge. And don't just get the knowledge and the information. Utilize it. Write down your plans. Execute your plans. Get your health in order. We one of the most unhealthiest races on the planet. Go out. First of all, the U.S. is already the fattest. You feel me? But then you go look at our community. A large portion of us is fucked. I'm in the gym 6 days a week. A lot of us, we not in there. And I know I just went way off topic, but I'm just trying to get us to lock in and focus. Because that's the only way we going to get in that top 10. Is if we get out of this celebrity worship fucking mindset. Because anytime a black podcaster has any type of opinion that does not align with bullshit and degeneracy about your favorite celebrity, now y'all don't want to support niggas. Because y'all worship these motherfuckers. We got to get out of that mindset. Stop worshiping motherfuckers and really open up your mind to what's going on in the real world, man. But shout out all the supporters, man, like I said before. Share, like, subscribe to the channel. The viral way.
She got my name tattooed. House full, so I hit it in the back room. Whoa, baby said she need a nail, peep the urgency. I want a little Kim before she had the surgery. Leg spread on that hardcore poster. She love twerking, she just do it for the coach. Big dog, bull master. 6 trays.
Ram Nation, by the way.
All these niggas mad at me, that's tragic. The main bitch in the bed, that's graphic. Yeah, we about to go viral. Hey. We about to go viral. Hey, we about to go viral.